a poem by my youngest son, Kevin Glass. Part of it was in your program this morning. And before I read it, Jack and I were about as different as two people can be. But he taught me over the years how important it is to listen to people even when you disagree with them, and that you can love people you disagree with. And I came to respect his honesty and his openness and his willingness to be who he was. That's a very hard thing to do. And Jack you always knew where you stood with him. And I loved him, and I'm going to miss him. Poem for Jack Glass, Kevin Glass. What's on my mind? Death, change in memory, a raspy voice from a time, and melting watches too, and family. What am I thinking? Contingencies for the worst, future bearers through the earth, and the grating isolation of being the next generation. What will I say? Condolences for candor, sighs for the sight, eulogies for the dead for their constant night. Who was the man I knew? The father of my father, the foundation of others, the dear lover to my father's mother. Who was he? For me, he was a man seen through brief glimpses, flashes for photos and frames of the day, and falls to the earth. He was a critic, but not a cynic, stern, rigid, and yielding, an athlete, a man determined to raise himself from the setbacks he suffered. He was a strong man, not merely in his ability to endure setbacks that would kill others, but also in his mind. This was the man I discovered. This was the man that was confirmed by a glance and a handshake on a hospital bed on Christmas Day. He was a man I became proud of. He was the man to whom I said goodbye. Who am I then? I'm a man. I have my pen. I have the means to dispel doubt and find a limb. But when flaws flout and my glimpses melt to mold, I have my family to remember when I am old. To my grandfather in his brain, I was seen in small frames, the marker of time, and the distance between his habitants and mine. What must I now admit? That to the earth goes the departed, and the last cries, sighs, and paths of the people that he touched, and the planes he helped build, and the games he made fair, and the remains of the constant stream of images of his life. I must admit that minuscule material interactions between structures unseen can be the precipice from who is and who has been, and who is to be. That mortality is not confined to cemeteries, that its shadow never varies as the fear one carries. This is what is and was on my mind. Mortalis ad hominem. Rest in peace, Grandpa.